Well, I had a program all put together for you, but after I recorded, I discovered the lighting was screwed up, or the camera, some setting, something I had done, gone all to pieces. So I deleted that, and now we're doing this. This is going to be a little different. In fact, first thing I want to discuss is a latest report on our old pal Desertphile. He seems to be doing a lot better. Not 100% yet, but I'd say he's a solid 78 to 80%. I don't know, if you take a look at the way he used to look there when he was sick, and now look at him, and it's pretty good. That's pretty good. So, so much for the Halloween jokes about the guy. That notwithstanding, the other big bit of news that came out yesterday, Red Corporation announced or made some announcements about the release of their Epic and Scarlet series of cameras. Now, anybody that's a movie maker or a wannabe movie maker or loves video and movies as much as I do, this was big news. Well, it wasn't as big a news as I'd have liked. I wanted to hear some more information about the upcoming fixed lens Scarlet system. But, hey guys, take your time out there and get it right, and that's fine with me. They said there'll be some changes in that particular system, which is kind of the entry-level Red camera. If you guys aren't really up to speed on Red cameras, you can read the whole thing over there at reduser.net, and there's a lot of good information, particularly if you're a current Red owner. Oh yeah, as if you're a current Red owner and you're only finding this out from me. Yeah, well, we believe that. But I'd like to say to people who are just starting out or are just interested in getting into movie making and are complaining, griping about the cameras. It's an awful lot of money and it's not much care. Look, let me give you a quick trip down memory lane as to what it used to be like. Look at this. I don't know if you can see that too well, but that's an old, I don't even know what the hell kind it is, but that's an 8mm camera. And this is what you used to have to contend with. You had to wind it up and hope for the best. A turret on the front for your lenses. Not exactly high tech. And these things cost a bunch of money. You could spend several $100 to several $1,000s, and then later you could update to something more like this little beauty. This is the Xenon camera from the late 70s. Now this thing's actually brand new. You know how I know? Because it's been in the family forever and it was never used. It was designed to take Super 8 cartridges, and honestly, I don't even know how in the hell you open it. Oh, you pull this thing. There. Cartridge goes in there. Do I have one? No. So, that was the way it used to be. You went to film school? Guess what you learned to work with? Film. You don't even realize what it's like now. All of the tools that are available now, all of the editing tools that are available now, the audio tools, the video tools, this thing I'm using now, that camera over there, we'll talk about it in just a minute. But let's take a trip back to see what video used to be like. That's the first camera I ever bought when I first started getting interested in video. Now that bad boy is an RCA DSP-3. It takes a full-size VHS tape. Yeah, oh, and it was so easy to work with. You know what you had to have to edit? A couple of VHS decks or another one of these. Oh, it was awful. Now, I'm not even going to really get into the professional. And this is what I'm saying. Oh, that was about $800, by the way. Now it's a paperweight. If you really wanted to get professional, I'm going to start the Museum of Awful Cameras. This is a JVC something or other. A GXS 700. This rascal would set you back about $25,000 back in the 70s. It used what's called a Satacon tube to drive it. And somewhere around here in all this mess, there's an old RCA kinescope system. God knows what that cost. No, it's long before my time. But it just gives you an idea. Oh, by the way, that doesn't have a tape in it or anything. That's just a camera. You had to wear the deck on you and the batteries. And I used to have a whole bunch of the gel pack batteries, but when I started getting serious about it, I thought, how much better can it get? How much smaller can a camera get? This shoots VHS-C tapes. This is a JVC, something or other. And I thought it was amazing. It even had a display out here, which is about the size of a cheap telephone now on the display. It had a color viewfinder, and like I said, shot on those VHS-C tapes. And that's about $400. Now, wow, how much better can it get? Well, I'll tell you how much better it can get. We've got HD now. The camera that I'm using to film this, or Yeah, I'm still guilty of that, sorry. That I'm using to shoot this is a Panasonic HDC SD100. It's got every kind of feature known to man. And it came out for about $1,200 when it was new, and then they discontinued the series, and I picked that one up for about $540. I'm happy with that for a while. It shoots 24 frames a second natively. It shoots 1080p. It does all the stuff I want. All right, we'll scrap all that for just a minute. Let's talk about red. One of the things, if you look at that picture of the red camera, that's an Epic, and the Scarlett's going to look a lot like that. It'll just, the model I'm looking at is going to have the fixed lens and all that. And there were some complaints. I don't like the way it, you hold it, it looks like, Well, the nice thing about red is it's all modular. You can make it look like anything you want. I mean, they've got one that looks like you could hang it from a bucket truck. I don't know. They got all kinds of configurations, and that's up to you. But if you look at that basic configuration, I'm going to show you something from a few years back. Now, this is the camera that when I really got serious about video, I looked into this. And this is called a Canon Optura. Now, if you notice, the form factor of this camera is very much like a 35, the way they used to describe it, as a single lens reflex 35mm camera. Because back in 1997, there really wasn't anything else to compare it to. It's a great layout. It looks good, it handles good, and it's balanced very well. And if you'll notice the comparison, it looks like that's where red's going, and I think it's brilliant. So as far as I'm concerned, to red cameras, keep them coming. And as far as everybody else, don't worry about the technology that much. Don't worry about what the cameras are. Let's worry about content. Because if there was a lot of good content, you wouldn't have to watch things like this. Well, that's going to be it for this time, because I don't know how long I've taken. Probably way too long. I'm trying to keep these things under 5 minutes because, let's face it, most people don't have that kind of an attention span, like me. But until next time, oh, and we will do some kinescope, I promise. I've got something cooked up that I think you're going to enjoy. All right, till next time, as always, spaceman's luck to you all.